We're gonna kick off season 3 with the 2015 Lexus GX350. Now, all you need to know for this one is the color of this car is satin cashmere metallic. I really don't think you need to know much more than that. Well, the 2015 marks the last model year of this generation. In 2016, it's going to be completely brand new from the ground up. Now, the benefits, if you're looking to buy one of these, the 2015 technically should have all the manufacturing improvements, all the bugs sorted out, because it's been in production for 5 years. They know exactly what's wrong with it by now, hopefully, and this should be a pretty reliable vehicle. Over the course of 4 or 5 years in a vehicle's life cycle, usually there's an update or refresh. And this is no different. This adopted the spindle grille and the new front end design that Toyota and Lexus have been implementing on most of their cars. And it gives it a very unique look that you can definitely tell it's a Lexus or Toyota from the crowd. Now the thing is it's a polarizing look. And I photographed this, video, drove it. I cannot get over how awkward this vehicle looks from the side, front, back. But I have to tell you, what do I know? Because the sales numbers do not support the fact that people dislike it. In fact, last year alone, they sold 107,000 of these RXs. And to put that in perspective for you, that's more than any other Lexus in the lineup. Well, you know, while it looks big, I can tell you it's not hard to get into. At least not like the big SUVs are. So keeping in mind the fact that this car was being engineered and designed probably about 6 years ago, and you get in here for the first time and you realize just how well of a sorted interior it is. The attention to details here, the material choices between the soft textures, the hard textures, there's a really good balance. Wherever your arms are resting, they have a lot of padding and very soft leather in those areas. Even the things with the shift knob, which you're typically just going to never use. It's not a manual shifter, but it's a solid feeling stock. The ergonomics are designed around the driver. Everything's easily accessible here. And this is one of the big highlights of this vehicle, including the instrumentation. It's so simple, it's elegant looking, and you just immediately get sucked into it with the lighting. And lighting's a big thing too. It's not just the daytime, how the cabin's lit, it's at night. How does the interior look at night? And Lexus has figured out that lighting gives you that feeling of luxury. When you're looking at this car in the evening, it's a very pleasant experience. It's just as pleasant as driving it during the daytime. And that's where I'm talking about the attention to detail. That's something that Lexus is really good at compared to some of the other brands. Infotainment in modern cars is a big deal now. Everything's controlled through it. All your audio, media, in some cases HVAC. So what Lexus has done is updated the RX350, which ditches the touchscreen and gives you the centrally mounted controller, mouse / joystick, which is encased in this big piece here, which is super ergonomic, as you can see here with your arm, but it takes up a lot of space. But the benefit of this is it's super easy to use if your settings are right. When I say that is this joystick actually has electronic feedback or haptic feedback that snaps to your next icon like electronically. The only thing I can compare it to is using a mouse. The central scroll wheel on a mouse, when you move it up and down, it kind of clicks. If it didn't click, it would just fly up and down super fast. Same thing with this. You can go in the menus and adjust the feedback setting. If your feedback setting is really high, then it just snaps to the next icon. Very easy to use. But the negative part about this software is there's a little bit of lag. It's slow to respond sometimes. And the worst part is, graphically, it looks like they rated Windows 95 and Office 97 for clip art, because the icons look so outdated in some cases, like the phone icons, just in general, the menu graphics just don't look that good. It's not up to par with what the Lexus brand is kind of like. You expect it to be very smooth, fluid, and up-to-date graphically, and it's not. I don't think the system's as good as the Mazda Connect or the BMW iDrive, but it's really close, and I really think just with some software tweaks, this is probably rivaling for one of the best systems. So we're here with the Lexus GX350.
GX350?
I keep saying that. I said that like 100 times. They can't.
It's an RX because it's off-road extreme.
What's the R stand for?
Well, road extreme.
Oh. So we're looking at the RX350. For this generation, Toyota went away from a strut-based rear suspension to a full double wishbone. And now you can see that the damper assembly is separate from the coil spring, which includes this magnificent aluminum end link. There's a lot of dampers on the back, a lot of vibration damping, Scott. I want to know why there's all these vibration dampers back here.
It's for a Lexus.
That's
what makes a Lexus apart from a Toyota.
Oh, vibration dampers?
Yeah, pretty much.
There's an excessive amount of vibration dampers back here, which probably equates to its smooth and supple ride.
And all these aerodynamic trays. This rear diffuser, look at that. This wind tunnel tested right there. They probably got this from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Formula One car.
Oh, Dale Earnhardt's Formula One car? What team was he driving for?
I think he was driving for Chevy.
Was it Chevy? I thought it was Kmart Racing. Look at that muffler.
Well, why do you need twin exhaust
when
it comes out of a pipe this big and they split off in the back, and then it's $2,000 to replace your exhaust when it goes back because it rots out of the flange? That makes more sense.
That looks real sharp.
Yeah, real nice wiring job for the trailer brakes, huh?
Why would that thing be towing anyway?
Because it's the LL Bean version.
So as you may or may not know, Scott, this is the K chassis for Lexus and Toyota, which is based on the Camry chassis. Which now you know what the K stands for.
K for Camry.
Right. So the other cars that are shared with this are the Highlander and the Camry, obviously, the Avalon and the Venza. Is it over here? What do you do with this? Is the engine...
Well, I'm confused. It says Toyota.
Okay.
But it says it's a Lexus. I don't get it.
So what are we looking at here, Scott?
6 cylinders.
It's got...
I'd swap out an H22 into here.
An H22, what's that? Is that the Chevy Spark motor?
No, that's the Dodge Colt motor.
Oh, Dodge Colt. So why would they... why is all their plastic all over everything?
To make it look simple. It's technology. It's progress.
So this is a Lexus motor. What was this in here for?
Knocking.
Why?
Because they neglected it.
How do you know they neglected it? I don't see anything wrong with that.
No, I guess they're both.
Well, I don't see the problem.
That's what happens when you don't change your oil. That stuff is good for your engine. Look at that.
So this,
One bolt.
so the two Lexuses, this one came in and blew up because they didn't change the oil.
Correct.
And what car did this come out of?
04 RX330.
Let's take a look at the RX330, the previous generation to this bad boy. How much was this motor?
New?
Yeah.
18 grand is new.
From Toyota?
From Toyota.
This is the RX330, which you just saw that motor out of. So the main thing is this thing would probably still be running at 200,000 miles, but you got to change the oil. And, you know, modern oils are good now to like 7,000 to 10,000 miles. But when you drive them to 25 and 30, how many miles do you think was on that oil?
Oh, God, probably 50 or 60. I would imagine it's 50 or 60,000. They probably did 2 oil changes. And they claim they did it every 3,000 6,000 miles.
Yeah, right. Every 30,000.
Not even.
Change your oil. Everyone.
Especially on your variable valve timing, overcomplicated new cars.
What's so complicated about variable valve timing, Scott?
It has little oil holes, and they can get clogged up with that junk and not work anymore.
Without getting into all the marketing nonsense that goes into, selling cars, the RX specifically, the chief engineer behind the car had 3 design philosophies when building this. One was confidence, the second was control, and the third was comfort. The transmission and the powertrain, the transmission is so smooth on this car. It's a 6-speed automatic. It's not a DSG or dual clutch or CVT. It's just a traditional torque converted unit. And the gear ratios are really short, which makes it surprisingly fun to drive, well, responsive for it just being a regular automatic. And when you put the car in sport mode, the shifter moved over to S, all it really does is it makes the transmission more eager to downshift, and you get a couple hundred more RPMs out of the rev range than you would in the traditional mode. So again, that makes it a little bit more entertaining to drive as well. Let's take a look here. Driving this car, you don't feel a lot of the external factors. You don't hear the tire noise. The engine and transmission are very subdued. And I find myself speeding a lot in the RX350 because you just don't get that big sensation of speed, which is a testament to its, what it is. It's a luxury car. You want to be isolated from your environment outside. Handling, going through some of the twisties, this is not a sports car. It's not even trying to be sporty. It's got a pillowy ride. It's the kind of car that you want to take on a road trip. You just feel always comfortable in it. The shocks and springs, it's not over dampened. Even over the rough stuff, like right now, you barely feel anything. I mean, yeah, you're going to feel the bumps, but it's never a jarring sensation. It's just pillowy. This has a remote liftgate. This is exactly what you'd expect from an SUV of this size. It does not have a third row seat, and plenty of people complain about that, but you know what you're getting, and what you're getting from not having a third row seat is just extra cargo capacity, storage, and it's really well laid out. This will probably handle most of what people are looking for. If you haven't already sat in one of these or seen a video of it, there's room for 3 back here. It's very comfortable, and the best feature is this. It's just that simple. The other cute feature back here is this center armrest, which has these wacky cup holders and a nice place for storage. So it does, if it's 2 people back here, there is some functionality, including these vents back here, but you do not have individual climate control on the back. So this is truly designed and manufactured in Japan. And some of the pros about this vehicle just are its overall ride quality and fit and finish. It is built really well. You can tell on the interior. A lot of the cars that we look at, you kind of just, you're like, eh. But this car does feel solid. What do you think about it?
Feels fantastic.
How fantastic does it feel?
It's a premium level car.
Would you recommend this, or would you buy this car?
I would recommend it, but no, I would not buy it.
Well, you wouldn't buy any car, though.
No.
Some of the cons is the infotainment is, it's got some issues.
Infotainment? You mean Distracto driver?
The Distracto screen.
The iDistracto?
Yeah, it doesn't have an I in the name, though, luckily.
It should.
But the bottom line is I can't find too many cons about this thing. The price is, it starts at a reasonable price, but this one fully loaded is $50,000, which is a lot of money. Just really, there's just not a lot to complain about. I've been trying to find something to nitpick about, but there's not too much.
not seen out of the back of the car with those headrests.
Yeah, the visibility's kind of shoddy.
But that's every car.
Right. Yeah, all the safety stuff now, you don't have great visibility. But other than that, it's recommended, even though I'm not a big SUV fan. This is a solid car.